All right, welcome to the Amato Report. The conscious mind and a subconscious mind. How do they work together and how does that affect our performance in sports and in life? Joining me this time is renowned mental fitness coach. She's a hypnotherapist and sports hypnosis, Karen Ross. Karen, nice to have you with us. This really surprised me. You work with a lot of elite athletes who use hypnosis in sports to affect their subconscious mind. Tell us what that means and what's involved.
Sure, sure. Just to acknowledge what you just said, most people don't realize that some of our most famous athletes have used hypnosis to reach their level of fame and excellence and peak performance. Just to name a few, Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan. There's a long list. When I decided to do that research on my own, I was blown away by how many internationally, not just in America, but internationally, have used hypnosis to really accelerate their performance. And when you use names like that, you can't help but believe that it has some impact. And some of the other famous people, Winston Churchill used hypnosis. There are many artists and authors and performers who have used hypnosis to really perform at their best. And it's something that was looked at years ago kind of askance, and now it's used and embraced by some of the major medical institutions like Cleveland Clinic, Mayo Clinic. But getting back to specifically what you mentioned, what is hypnosis? Well, hypnosis is accessing the power of the subconscious mind. So when I'm working with someone or talking to a group, I start out by making sure they realize they have two minds. They've got a conscious mind. That's the one that talks to us all the time. And it's the one that often doesn't have a very kind voice. It's that one that gives us a lot of criticism and chastisement. And, it varies from person to person as to what their conscious voice is saying to them. But then we have the conscious mind. And actually, the subconscious mind is the most powerful creative force in the universe. And the majority of us do not take the time first to acknowledge that and then to learn how to access the power of the subconscious mind. It typically, well, not typically, always involves quieting that conscious mind. And then the subconscious mind is just sitting there waiting for instructions. It doesn't talk back to us like the conscious mind. It doesn't argue with us. It's just there to serve us. And so that's kind of in a nutshell how hypnosis works.
Wow. What exactly, how would you define a subconscious mind?
That's an interesting question. Well, as I said, the conscious mind's the one that talks all the time. The subconscious mind is much quieter. It is the space people talk about. Well, what's the difference between meditation and hypnosis? There's a difference because meditation encourages us to, and meditation's great, don't get me wrong, but it encourages us to quiet both the conscious and the subconscious mind and just kind of empty out completely. Whereas hypnosis does call on us to access the subconscious mind and allow it to come to the surface and aid us. An example, our subconscious mind has all of the information we have ever learned. Now, most of us think, well, I don't remember that anymore, and that was so long ago, I have absolutely no, but it's all there. When people prepare for an exam, like I've worked with people preparing for their MCATs, their LSATs, and if they've not passed a couple of times, when they're preparing to take it that last time, their nerves and stress are really, really high.
Sure.
And I help them realize and know all the information's there. You have studied like crazy. And when you learn to quiet your mind that says, oh, I don't remember this, I don't know the answer to this question, blah, 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 to quiet that mind and just say, I know the answer to this. It's on its way. It's coming to me now. And that's an oversimplification of how it can work.
Is
But
that
sometimes it is that simple.
is that self-hypnosis?
Absolutely. I teach people techniques of self-hypnosis. They're not going to always have me around, and I love working with my clients, but I want them to walk away with tools they can use. I mean, if we're talking about an athlete and they're in the middle of a soccer game or running track or a football game, whatever it might be, I'm not there. So when they're really stressed, they need some tools that they can reach out and pull, or reach down and pull out, use at that time. And it can just make all the difference in the world.
Give us an example of how an athlete would reach down and pull a tool. Give me an example of what a tool is. It would make all the difference in the world.
Okay, sure. I think of one, I mean, there are many, but one sticks in my mind right now. This was a very young athlete in his teens, and I work with predominantly teens and high school and college age, because they're working toward scholarships and particular colleges and so on. And then beyond that also. But I remember one young man in particular in his early teen or mid-teens, and he was a runner. And he had reached and he was really, really good. I mean, he was the best one on his team and held in high regard by his teammates, his coaches, the school, so on and so forth. But when he would run, as an example, a 2-mile race, he said, when I
By
get
the
to,
way, I was a 2-miler in high school.
hey, there you go. There you go. I know my dad was a runner, and I don't remember him talking about specific races, but he was a track star. So yeah. So anyway, this young man, he said, when I do great for that first mile, and then when I know that second mile's coming up, there's something in my brain that says, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to, my legs are getting heavy. My legs are getting tired. I can't breathe as well. Everything just kind of kicked in and told him he couldn't finish that last mile. And the tool I helped him develop was that he had a different perception about his legs. And rather than them getting heavy, when he reached that first mile, his legs would get lighter and lighter and lighter. And that they would almost lift him up in the air where he could just soar forward. And it's often just changing one's perception about something and how they can complete it.
Well, I will tell you this, the fifth lap, which is the start of the second mile, is the most mentally challenging lap in a 2-mile race.
Well, I believe it. I don't know it by
And
experience, but I know it from talking to him and now hearing from you. But I have to say, after we worked together and he knew what he could do with his own mind, it dramatically changed his performance.
let me ask you this. Are there
Mhm.
lessons to be learned and applied to everyday life from these examples?
Sure. Many of the same, in fact, one of my certifications in hypnosis is geared toward athletes. And at the time, I said to the person who developed the program, I said, I'm not an athlete. I don't have a lot of athletes in my life. I'm not geared in that direction. Can I really gain from this? Because I liked her and I liked the concepts that she was teaching. She said they apply to anybody who just wants to perform better. So it could be an executive, it could be an entrepreneur, it could be a performer, it could be anybody who wants to increase or better their performance. Can I give you another little story
Yeah.
that it does kind of stick in that same arena as sports, but I worked with a golfer who was in his mid 70s. He was a retired physician, and golf was his main interest. He was also an author. He wrote, I don't know, 30 some books, whatever. But he loved playing golf. And he'd played golf with the same group for years and years, every week. And he said, I just want to improve my golf game. I'm not trying to become a golf pro or anything like that. I just want to golf a better game. So we worked together, and I started out by asking him if he had like a dream score. And he gave me a number, and I said, well, let's start with that. He laughed. And I said, well, what are you laughing at? He said, I will never golf that score. It's impossible. And I said, well, let's use that as just a starting point. Well, we did. And he really got involved in it. He loved AI, and he took an emblem and put that number in the middle and made some posters. And I said, put those every place. Put them in on your bathroom mirror, on the dash of your car, when you open your computer, whatever. And then don't think about it. Just see it. Just see that number. Well, about 6 months after we stopped working together, I got a text, which was a picture of him having just left the golf course, holding up his scorecard and that emblem, and he had golfed that score.
Oh, wow. You know, let me
So,
let me ask you
yeah,
this. We're down a couple minutes remaining. Back in high school, I would visualize the night before the time I wanted to achieve the next day. And that would be like the last thing I would do before falling asleep.
perfect.
And I would also do it sitting in class an hour or two before the meet was about to begin. Is this the same concept?
It's yes, absolutely. And I tell people, whatever you do want to complete, if you visualize that as you're going to sleep, there isn't a better time. Absolutely, because that's the time that our conscious mind is going to sleep. And our subconscious mind is much more accessible. It's very, very similar to being in hypnosis. And it just makes the subconscious mind, it's sitting there. I like people to visualize their subconscious mind as almost like a sponge, just waiting for the information to expand their consciousness. And it's just waiting there to serve us.
Interesting.
And that's what you did.
And I believe the only reason I thought of doing it, I could be wrong. I'm going from, it's been a while. I think our high school coach advised us to do that. And
Wonderful.
if he did what, in line with what you're saying, we had the longest winning streak of all high schools in America. And
Did you?
yeah,
Well, hey, he knew what he was doing, and believe me, there's nothing new about hypnosis. I mean, I can't sit here and give you all the history. Some hypnotists can, but it goes way, way, way back. So there's nothing new about it.
well, Karen, we're about out of time. I really appreciate you joining us. We're going to have you back. And I really like this topic and am excited about having you on and what you specialize in, a mental fitness coach, um, sports hypnosis, but it applies to all walks of life, as you have pointed out.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And if anybody wants to just talk and find out if it's something they want to pursue, just email me. My website, and I do have a website, which is KarenRossNow.com. And they can take a look there. And there are many opportunities to schedule a brief conversation with me, or they can email me directly at info@KarenRossNow.com.
And we're showing the website and email address on the bottom of the screen here.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, thank you for having me on, and hope to do it again, and really appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, likewise. All right, Karen. Look forward to having you again. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Back with more right after this.